Greg Palkot now live for us outside Buckingham Palace. Greg, this is quite a moment we're watching.
It's quite a moment indeed, Griff, Aisha. We're watching it just like you are, amazed. I think the most amazing shot was when they were walking down what they call the long walk that leads up to Windsor Castle. It's what we remember from various funerals and other events. We saw William and Kate. We saw Harry and Meghan, the four of them dressed in black, walking down together. It is said that tragedy, well, it can bring folks together, and it looks like it's done that today. And as you've been recounting and as we've been watching, and we're watching it right now, we see William and Kate talking to the crowds, being very, very friendly. Remember, William is now the Prince of Wales. He has that new title, and he has a new role. He is first in line to the throne right after his father, King Charles III. So he's got a big responsibility on his shoulders. Kate as well. Their three kids are out there. Remember, they moved out there to get away from the hustle and bustle of Kensington Gardens Palace where they were. But I think probably what's going to really cause the eyebrows to raise is them being together with Harry and Meghan, which I'm sure their grandmother would have liked to have seen, guys.
I would think so too. And Greg, you know, when watching these walkabouts that they are doing, starting with King Charles III, who also went about and shook hands outside, I believe it was Buckingham Palace. You know, you have to think that the members of the royal family have to be very cognizant of the fact that this is a bit of a vulnerable moment, because some out there would have liked for this monarchy to have ended with the Queen. And they really have to put on a united front, right, to ensure that the monarchy continues and that they prove to people out there they're still connected with the average common person in the UK.
Absolutely, Aisha. I mean, probably the person who really brought the monarchy close to the people was the mother of Harry and William, the late Princess Diana, and she brought really the common touch, the warmth to the connection between the sometimes stuffy royal household and the public. That was back in the 80s and 90s. They're carrying it on. Yes, we saw outside of Buckingham Palace, you're right, yesterday, King Charles III working the crowd. I mean, just like an American politician, he was out there for about, I was counting, about 8 or 9 minutes shaking hands and then looking at the floral arrangements. And you see that his son, William, well, right now, is doing exactly the same thing.
And Greg, I just am so struck that these two brothers, the feud between them is a real feud. And so I think the question now, and certainly in the British press, I've heard them described as the warring brothers. So the question now is, are they simply setting aside their differences in this moment? Or is this perhaps an opportunity for real reconciliation?
I have no inside information on that, Griff, but yeah, I gotta believe they're setting aside their feelings at this moment for sure, certainly for the next 10 days. Remember, Harry happened to be in town in the UK along with Meghan for some events here. He had flown to Germany for an event involving his Invictus charity, and he was back in London when he got the word. He was out at Windsor Castle, which out next to Windsor Castle, where he was staying. He tried to make it up to see the Queen before she passed, but he missed that, and frankly, a lot of other people did too. It really was only Prince Charles, at that time, Prince Charles and Princess Anne who saw Queen Elizabeth in her last moments. But he was here, and he will remain here along with Meghan, and will be here through what we now know will be the state funeral, which will be a week from Monday, guys.
And Greg, you know, let's admit it, you know, these are members of a royal family, sure, but they're also rock stars. I mean, they're stars in their own right. And I think this moment that we're watching right now is going to give a lot of folks out there, certainly royal reporters, a lot to talk about, but also people who just love the royal family. Are probably loving watching this moment, you know, the two brothers and their wives. serving their country together, doing their duty, connecting with the British people in a really, really awful moment of sorrow, a deep personal pain in their family. When we're watching this, how critical is it for this family to really be united in this moment right now?
It's very important, Aisha. I mean, I came in here by the tube. That's what they call the subway, the underground here. And I was sitting next to a mother with her 2 children. They had a bouquet of flowers. And on that bouquet of flowers, on the wrapping, there was 2 cards. One was written by I guess he was about a 10-year-old boy, and the other was sort of drawn by the 6-year-old girl. And they were coming here to bring their flowers, to pay their respects. So people of all ages, from 4, 5, 6 years old, all the way up to, well, as old as you can go, are out here in Buckingham Palace paying their respects and offering their warmth. And as we're seeing at Windsor Castle too, they're doing exactly the same thing. This is a time when the country comes together, and certainly the day of the state funeral, which has been also declared what they call a bank holiday here. That is a day off for everybody. Of course, that will be the focus, but that's about 9 days away. So there's going to be a lot of time to remember Queen Elizabeth II and look ahead to the next reign, guys.
And just, Aisha and I were talking, Greg, about, getting back to Harry and Meghan, obviously quite notable for the world watching the King's eloquent speech, just a sort of shout out for his love for Harry and Meghan, but they, of course, do not have elevated titles. Do we know if they will have any role whatsoever in terms of duties or what we could expect them to be doing in the future?
That has not been specified. Well, for the immediate future, for the process of the state funeral, they will certainly be present, and Prince Harry still has an array of formal functions, even though has been a great separation between himself and the royal family, so he will be there. Meghan will be present as well. There have been some reports that it was asked that Meghan did not accompany Prince Harry up to Scotland to raise attention to her at a time when the Queen was then in her last hours, but we don't know that for a fact. No, they will continue to do what they do, but we will see what happens after this period of mourning and see if there will be a greater coming together. We covered the 2 of them together when they were here last year to honor their mother, a statue outside of Kensington Palace, and we're all hoping for a big coming together at that time. We covered them also when they were here for the funeral of Prince Philip, the late husband of the late Queen, last year. We were hoping for a coming together then. That did happen, but maybe it takes Mom, or in the case as William described her, maybe it takes Granny to get them together, guys.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.